What's going on today, YouTube? Today we got another NFL video. I'm loving making these videos, even though I get roasted in the last couple. And two of the AFC West videos, I got roasted in the comments for some of my takes, which is completely fine. Completely fine with it. If you guys disagree with what I have to say, tell me. We can talk about it. Those guys haven't commented back, so we haven't really had a discussion about it. But I'm glad to see that people are thinking I'm stupid because that's what I'm doing this for. So that way, later in the season, come divisional round of the playoffs, Super Bowl, start of next offseason, I can look back and say, God, you're stupid, Cody. How did you think this was going to happen? Or how did you think that was going to happen? Or how did you not see that? So it's super fun to do these videos and then just look back on them later. It's not really for the now, and I'm not really doing it to say, oh, look at how much I got right. I'm just doing it because I like the NFL. It's one of my favorite things of my life at the moment. But today, we got the Baltimore Ravens. As you can see right here, I got them going 12-5 and the number 7 seed, so just scraping in to the playoffs. Well, not just scraping in, as you've seen from the Raiders video and then the Browns video posted a couple days ago. The Raiders and Browns were at 8-9 at 10-7, so 12-5, 2 games up on the number 8 seed. Is not really squeaking into the playoffs, but number 7 seed used to not be there, obviously, so you wouldn't have made it in previous years other than last year. Going into their roster, Lamar Jackson, I think, is probably one of the most, if not the most, polarizing quarterbacks ever. I mean, what he can do with his legs and what he can do with his arms, his arm is absolutely magnificent to watch. In his MVP year, I mean, he was just unstoppable on the ground, through the air. So I think Lamar Jackson is a really, really good quarterback. The people that say Kyler Murray is over Lamar Jackson are so unbelievably blind because Lamar Jackson has won a unanimous MVP. Like, that's insane. You see that all the time in different sports, but in football, a unanimous MVP is crazy. That means not one person in the league, other than Lamar Jackson, got a single vote that year. It was nuts. His year was absolutely crazy. He deserved the award so much. But the people that say Kyler Murray is even comparable to Lamar Jackson are terrible takes. Kyler Murray plays like an MVP for the first 7 weeks of this NFL season and then just loses it. Cannot play football from that point on. Lamar Jackson has shown in the past that he can be an NFL starter and a very good one at that for an entire season. He won a unanimous MVP. Let me say that again. A unanimous MVP award in the NFL. Those two players are not comparable in my opinion. I understand they have somewhat of the same skill sets, but Lamar Jackson is so far and above developed over Kyler Murray, it's not even remotely close. But with that being said, the Ravens have not done very well with supporting Lamar Jackson on offense, other than Mark Andrews. The wide receiving core for Lamar Jackson's entire career has not been good. Marquise Brown got better throughout his NFL career, but was never really a good wide receiver one for Lamar Jackson. You got J.K. Dobbins, who averaged like 6 yards a carry his rookie year, and then got injured last year, so this will be his first really healthy year, not as a rookie. So we'll have to see how that goes. The offensive line is good, but not great. I mean, obviously, you lost Orlando Brown. Kyle Villanueva retired. You still have Ronnie Staley. I think it's Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie Staley. I don't know. It's one of the two. Protecting his blind side, so it's still going to be good. Onto their defense. Calais Campbell is still there. He was in the part of the Jacksonville defense that went absolutely nuts in 2017 for Jacksonville Jaguars. You obviously have Marlon Humphrey, who I think is a very underrated DB in the NFL. You have Marcus Peters, who is a ball-hawking number 2 corner. You have Kyle Hamilton, who is coming in and will probably be slotted in as strong safety this year. And then you got Patrick Queen, who has not been a great NFL linebacker, but obviously he can still develop. He's still young. Who was that Ravens player that died? R.I.P. That story was so sad, but for the life of me right now, I cannot remember his name. He was an edge rusher, super young. For the life of me, I cannot remember his name now. Super tragic story. I mean, just you see the stories like that, and you just think, that could have been anyone else. It's just sad. So, moving off, making sure it's recording. Moving off their roster, let's go into the record prediction that I have for them. Obviously, you saw, and I told you 12-5 record overall, 7th seed. I have them beating the Jets. I just think with Lamar Jackson at the helm, it could really be any given Sunday for the Ravens. Week 2, I have them beating the Dolphins. I think Tua just is a mess at quarterback. I don't think Tua is going to be good. I don't think he is good. I don't think even surrounding him and the weapons of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, all those running backs, Mike Gesicki, a good offensive line, I still don't think he can be the guy. Week 3, I have him beating the New England Patriots. I just think that roster is better built than the Patriots roster. This is one of the worst built rosters that Bill Belichick has had probably in his entire career as head coach of the Patriots. Week 4, I have him pulling the upset against the Buffalo Bills. It's crazy because I've talked the Bills so much up this year, but I really do think the Ravens can ultimately upset them. In Week 5, I have them beating the Cincinnati Bengals, and then in Week 6, I have them beating the Giants to start off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could have just counted 6-0, so starting off the season hot. The Bengals game is a little bit more in depth than the Giants game. I think the Ravens are just better than the Giants, but at home, I think they can split with the Bengals this year. I had to make sure that I had that way. And then I have them dropping 2 straight to the Browns and the Buccaneers. I just think that at this point, Deshaun Watson's, if he comes back, if the 6-game suspension that is in force right now on August 8th that I'm recording this, if the suspension is finalized at 6 games, I think Deshaun Watson can come in and have an absolute heyday on the Baltimore Ravens defense. And then in Week 8, I have them obviously dropping the game to the Buccaneers. I just think Tom Brady is just too methodical for that Ravens defense. So I think he's going to probably dink and dunk them a lot, other than the occasional throw up to Mike Evans. In Week 9, I have them beating the Saints. I just think the Saints have a really good roster, but Jameis Winston has a ceiling, and I just want to see how he comes back from that knee injury. In Week 10, they have their bye. In Week 11, I have them beating the Panthers. I don't think that is too much of a stretch to say. I think the Panthers, have a QB carousel that's happened since 2015 and Cam Newton. Week 12, I am beating the Jags. I was going to say Jacksonville because obviously it's the Jags. I am beating the Jags. I don't think Trevor Lawrence can take quite that step this year. I don't think the Jaguars did a very good job this offseason surrounding him in actual viable, talent. Christian Kirk is good. Brandon Scherf is good. Evan Ingram can be good, but not, they lost DJ Chark. Travis Etienne's coming back off of his injury. Still have James Robinson, who I don't think is going to be ready to go at the beginning of the year, but this is obviously Week 12 at this point. I have them dropping the game in Week 13 to the Broncos. I just think the Broncos are going to be really good. Week 14 and Week 15, I have beating division rivals in Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm starting to stutter. I don't think either of these are stretches. I think they could obviously sweep the Steelers this year. I just think that quarterback room altogether is not good. In Week 15, obviously, like I said, I haven't beaten the Browns. I just think they split with the Browns. It's division rivalry, so anything can happen. Week 16, I have them getting upsetted by the Atlanta Falcons. I think this could be a very, very good trap game. I think this game could be super close at the end, and then the Falcons just pull it off. Week 17, I have them beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said earlier, I think that QB carousel, that QB room altogether is just not good. And then in Week 18, I have them losing to the Cincinnati Bengals for the division. Yeah, for the division, because I wonder what would happen if I did this. Yeah, for the division. So this is a division championship right here, but I'm going to give it to the Bengals. I think the Bengals are a slightly better team. Obviously, I think the quarterback in Baltimore is better than the one in Cincinnati, but I think the overall roster in Cincinnati is better than the one in Baltimore. That's going to be it, though. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Nothing too controversial about the Ravens this year. Health is going to be a really big thing. Last year, they were super injured. I hope this year they can stay healthy so we can get an actual Ravens season from them, from Lamar Jackson, Marlon Humphrey. Hopefully, Kyle Hamilton comes in and just is a baller. So, yeah. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to comment down below what you think I missed, what you think I made directly on the head, and then subscribe to help the channel grow to places it has yet to grow so far. Peace.